Game 2 on day 6 of the 2018 GIO IWRF Wheelchair Rugby World Championship. Should be a great game here today between Colombia and Canada, and France. Colombia we have just seen in a terrific battle. John O'Farr and Dave Mengen in commentary today. Dave, how do you see this one going between Canada and France?
I think this is going to be an interesting matchup. You know, Canada had a difficult time early in this tournament, and then they went and beat Colombia badly and won their last game to get here. France played against Great Britain and had a great game, but Great Britain just was too much for them. And I think that with the experience that some of these younger players on Canada have gotten over this week, they'll have the opportunity to really make a difference in this game. And there's so much game experience, big game experience on the Canadian team, even without Zach Medell, that I think they can give them a run for their money.
Have you been surprised by their performance in the tournament? They started a little bit slow, having 3 losses.
I think they know that they're kind of in a rebuilding situation. They've got a lot of young players on the bench. But I'm sure they're disappointed with some of their losses. I don't think they expected to lose to Poland. And that loss to Poland made Colombia think they had a shot, but that didn't work out for them. So, as Canada has built over this week, they've gotten better and better. And even against the United States, they played really well. So I think they got a shot here.
Well, we started with Colombia and Poland, and we continue with Canada and France. A nice tap away, and France will take it up to the line through Havanay, working his way nicely through that key. Tries to go on that far side. Brilliant protection there from the 13 in Saligue. And
they work together really well.
Back.
You'll see those guys picking for each other, little crack blocks.
So it looks as though there's a referee timeout. Doesn't look like that try was awarded there to Saligue for France. And, of course, the score will remain 0-0. So Canada now to inbound.
Oh, no, they're going to give them the score now.
So they've given them the score there. So the try is there. Nicely worked to Whitehead. Whitehead punches it downfield. Here comes Canada working it nicely. Troutman just working through the midcourt nicely. Needs to get it away now for some possession. Has Whitehead behind him, as you can see. Beautiful work from Saligue in protection. Hirschfield working nicely, protecting line. Great pass over the top. Whitehead gets the try for the Canadians. We're 1-1 here, Dave.
Troutman's had a good tournament, at least the games that I've seen. I think his play is going to make the difference on Canada.
So inbound there, and it's now Saligue working it nicely. Got a great inbound there from Chalman, who's been a nice player for them for the last couple of days. And now Saligue, Christophe Saligue, scores for the French. And he gets their second try, which gives them the lead by 1 try. Looks to be inbound here from the Canadians. Nice pass across court. Troutman working it nicely. Just tries to get the pass away. Great catch there from Whitehead. Getting the molten ball in the cart. Hirschfield's on the flank, but Troutman's coming. Hirschfield protecting the line. Distracted the player there for France. Close to the key there, Dave, and really created a nice opportunity for his side.
T-Bone Hirschfield, he's a threat offensively, so you can't just leave him alone. Had to make a decision defensively.
Saligue will give it away to Havanay.
Got to get those lollies out of my mouth.
So it'll be inbound here. Maroa nicely to Troutman. Troutman just trying to play at the line, coming through. Has Maroa on his flank. And Hirschfield. And there goes T-Bone for the try.
I think Nankin's going to be a real tell-taker here. If he plays well, France is going to do very well in this game because Nankin has been just a defensive force in all of the matches that I've watched.
So France up court now through Jonathan Havanay. Nankin working nicely. Great catch close to the line in Saligue. He's knocked over Hirschfield in the process. Are they going to give it here, Dave?
I didn't see the contact that made him turn. I thought that maybe he had done that to himself. But, of course, the referee's closer than I am.
Here's the replay. Take us through it here, Dave.
So Troutman tries to go after that ball. And you see, yeah, you didn't see Nankin. I don't think Nankin touched his chair. Salagui and Hirschfield got a little bit hung up on each other. And Hirschfield was just turning too fast.
So inbound to Troutman. Nice pass across court. Here go the Canadians through the mid-court. Salagui working hard, draws the player in beautifully. Hirschfield gets the bump and grind from Salagui.
There's that offensive threat I was talking about. He tucks himself in that corner so that he has the whole key to work with if the ball comes to him.
Salagui working his way through some hard traffic. Whitehead trying to get him there. Nice tap away there from Troutman, but it'll go nicely to Havanay. And Jonathan Havanay will just break the deadlock there for France. They lead at 5-4. Both teams yet to use a timeout, and we're about a minute 45 into this contest.
Yeah, we're basically trading here.
Nice inbound to Hirschfield. Good hands from Troutman. Troutman to work it with limited real estate down the flank. Fires the pass. Beautiful stuff. Canada respond well. And it'll be Whitehead that gets the try. It brings us level at 5-all here, Dave. Terrific game of wheelchair rugby we've got here.
Yep. And the spacing that you're seeing on the Canadian team is really what's giving them such good opportunities. Whitehead coming from the far side of the court, leaving everything open so that however that pass came in, he could adjust to it.
Chalman inbounds to Havanay. Havanay working through the defensive pattern. Smart pass with the molten ball straight to Salagui. Salagui will soak up some time, and with 28 seconds left on that shot clock, he goes through for the try, which gives France the lead. Nice threading pass there from Hirschfield to Whitehead. Whitehead working through some traffic. Got France under some pressure here. Troutman blocked well. Nankin goes hard. Goes nicely there. Inside to Troutman. Nice little pivot and spin. There's Rodriguez working nicely for Canada on the flank. And now Troutman under some pressure from Nankin. Rodriguez working well with Whitehead. Whitehead with the molten ball. Here comes Hirschfield into attack. Holds up the line. 12 seconds left on the shot clock. Whitehead will take his time here, but can't take too much longer. Now tries to go to the flank. Threads the needle. Goes left and right. Probably needs to get rid of it. 3 seconds left. Clever pass. Hirschfield couldn't get it. Chalman knocked it out of his hands. Brilliant pressure from both sides, Dave.
Yeah, that was a good defensive play. Canada was trying to work that, and you had Hirschfield in the corner, but he wasn't able to catch it. He did a good job not crossing the line without the ball, but that clock just expired before he was able to get out of bounds. And
Chalman to Salagui from the inbound. 5 left in this first term. 6-5 in favour of the French, and they are in possession. Nicely worked to Salagui. Has Nankin coming up the middle in the 3-jumper. He's been a great player for France at this tournament. Working well, Salagui on the flank, nicely through. Goes for the try for the French. Gives them a 2-goal buffer here. Dave, that's really important at this early stage.
Absolutely. You know, these teams are, if they stay locked up, Canada is one of those teams where if you keep them in the game long enough, you're in big trouble. If you can put them away early, then you have the opportunity to make sure you get that win. But we're going to go back and forth here, I think, at least for a while. The 1-2 punch of France, though, has been really good.
Whitehead takes it up the middle.
And Hironat, the two of them, they're moving the ball well. They're working together well. They're working well with their pickers. You know, they're going to be tough to beat.
Nicely worked to Havanay. Havanay just through the middle. Chalman working nicely in protection. Tried to get the pass there down the flank. Rodriguez protected it nicely in the end, and the ball goes out of bounds. You would have seen probably a lot more of France. I think this is my second time at this venue. Played most of their games at the Netball Centre, which you would have been calling.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few.
Thoughts over the last 6 days for the French?
They have really played well. You know, what's interesting is Salem, who has been their number one guy for a long time, doesn't get nearly as much play time. You'll see Verdun coming in off the bench next. And those 3 high pointers for France have done just a really nice job of executing and hanging onto the ball, not creating or not turning the ball over very often. A lot of speed on that team.
Speaking of speed, Jonathan Havanay had plenty of it in that last try for France. It gives them a 2-try margin. Spin and turn there from Troutman. Troutman works hard. Salagui trying to go on the flank. Comes now under some pressure now. Great little bump and grind there from Havanay. Troutman working nicely, tries to get the pass away. Inside 4 minutes in this first term. 8-6 in favour of the French, as you can see. Troutman tries to get that molten ball loose, needs to get rid of it pretty soon. Keeps it alive, has Rodriguez possibly as an option. Whitehead's calling for it, he gets it. Now he goes straight through a yawning gap, through the line. Brilliant stuff from Canada. Saligue tried to get him, Dave, but that's wonderful, wonderful wheelchair rugby from the Canadians.
And that's Lavoie who scored that goal. He's a quick player too and has a lot of big game experience. And that's why they feel like they can take Whitehead out and put him in there and take his place.
And the try goes to Jonathan Havanay, another number 11. So 9-7 in favour of France now. Early doors of this contest, battling for 5th and 6th place in the rankings.
Depth is important here too. At the speed at which these guys move, you really need to be able to take them out and give them a little bit of rest.
Troutman inbounds, but Hirschfield just ran out of room there. So a substitution will take place here for Canada. Interesting to see who they go with here. You can see Fabien Lavoie on the court there in the 11. Nice inbound there.
Looks like it's Verdun that came in for France.
Yep. So Verdun is on for France. He works it nicely inside that attacking zone. Has Havanay in front of him. Havanay will go after the ball. Jeez, I thought for a moment he wasn't going to get there, and he might not, but as Hirschfield came up his tail. But they somehow find a way to score that try there, Dave.
You'll get that pressure all the way up to the line from Canada. Lavoie's unable to get close enough. That was a great pass there.
Yeah, terrific stuff to Troutman. Now to Lavoie.
From a 1, you know. Hirschfield's a 1. He made that pass into traffic far away from the baseline.
Probably shows you the confidence in the Canadian team, though, Dave.
And I think that pass you just saw where Lavoie threw it to Hirschfield didn't have as much heat on it, and I think that's a result of the last one he threw that Troutman threw. Then he probably held back on it a little bit.
Lavoie now gives it back to Troutman. Troutman tries to spin and turn around Verdun. Here comes Havanay for France. Nankin's causing problems, but Lavoie works hard in the key. Now it works over the nicely. Great pass to Fabien Lavoie, and Canada respond. Brings that margin back to 2. 10-8 now in favour of the French. 2.5 to play before quarter time.
You know, his name we haven't said much is Chalman. He's been doing a great job on this inbound too. You know, you can't turn the ball over when you're just putting the ball on the court, or you're not going to have any chance against any of these teams.
As Jonathan Havanay goes over for France, brings that margin back to 3 tries. Got 2 big games coming up. Next up for bronze, USA and Great Britain. I'm sure you would have loved to have fought out for the gold, being an American, Dave, but we should get a terrific contest for the bronze medal a little while later today.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a really interesting game. And you know, personally, I'm just a huge fan of the game. I love a hotly contested match, and I think that one will be.
Havanay bumps and grinds his way around Troutman, and he gets the try. So a nice little turnover there for the French, Dave, and it gives them a good buffer with about 2 to play before quarter time.
Yeah, and both teams are thinking about the clock right now. Oh, another bad pass, Canada.
Verdun gets the possession back, and now France lifting here. Havanay working hard around Troutman. Nankin in there, just trying to protect. There goes Lavoie coming in. Possession now trying to come the way of France. Canada desperately trying to get the molten ball back in their hands as Verdun goes at the line. Nice try there, Sebastien Verdun. He scores for France.
Canada will stop things here with the coach's timeout. I think that's a good call. That was a big mistake there, losing that ball, and it was just a bad pass. But the save from France for Den, when he went to the sideline and was able to knock it back as he went out of bounds, that made all the difference. His hustle made all the difference on that play.
Wonderful to see so much support for the Canadians, both here at the Key Centre and the Netball Centre. There they are on screen. Some great flags we can see just to the left of us, our broadcast position.
Yeah, really good support. I was surprised at the level of support from some of these teams who are 15 and 20 hours away by plane.
Nice pass across to Whitehead. Whitehead in some open court. I know the partner of Jason Lees is Canadian. So a big day for her. She sees Canada take on France, a battle for 5th and 6th. And then, of course, Jason trying to go for gold with the Steelers against Japan later today.
That also should be a great match. Japan wasn't able to match up with Australia on their first meeting, but I think that they'll come back with a new, vital energy.
As Havanay will just go through for the points there for Canada, and now it starts to make it very interesting.
Working the clock, thinking about that last goal.
Hand pass in nicely to Whitehead. Whitehead pops the pass back inside. T-Bone straight up the middle for Canada. Nicely working. Here comes Verdon on the flank. Tries to get it. Maroa now. Looks for possession. Inside and out. Tries to go in line. Nankin works it. Tries to pop the pass across to Whitehead. Whitehead will get it there. Looks like it's the
Caldwell.
Number 12 for Canada and Diganars.
Good ball movement.
Cody Caldwell has been a good player. I first called him a couple of years ago when he came over for the national domestic competition, and I've been really impressed with how he plays the sport.
They seem to be able to develop players over in Ontario like I've never seen. You go over and play against those guys. The Ontario team took first in their one division, first in their second division, and third in their second division.
Oh, wow.
So they put 3 teams up. Yeah, there's a lot of great players over there. And because it's close to where I live, I can get over there a couple times a year and practice with those guys. It gives me an opportunity to learn all kinds of new stuff.
Is there much hostility between the USA and Canada in terms of tactics, or are you just one happy family, just happy to help each other out?
I think it's a pretty bitter rivalry in general.
Yeah.
Sometimes it seems like it's a little over the top, but I personally have as many friends on the Canadian team as I do on the U.S. team, so I'm try to be impartial as much as I can, especially when I'm up here. And again, fan of the game. I just want to see a great game. I love an underdog.
As Diganars has possession, gives it to Whitehead. Whitehead, smart pass to Caldwell, who positioned himself well near the try line. And Canada just narrow that margin back to 4, 15-11 inside the final 30 seconds of this first term. Sailor-Gue, nice pass across to Verdon. Nankin working hard in defence, trying to create some opportunities and some protection. Verdon keeps the Molten Ball alive. Great pass over the top. Sailor-Gue now working back inside the key. 15-11. France, they need to build on this lead. It's already at 4. Will it be 5? Sailor-Gue working nicely. 7 seconds to go, as you can see. Needs to get that pass away. Has Nankin on the flank. Here goes Sailor-Gue. Oh, Christophe Sailor-Gue. Brilliant stuff for the French there inside the final few seconds of the quarter, Dave.
Unfortunately, Chalmers got pushed off the back across the line, Chalman, and he will not get that try. So much effort. He puts in all that effort, and that's why you got to be careful on those lines. As you get your teammate doing that, something like that, they would work that clock, work the sides, try and get that score, and to give it up as he's crossing the line is really disappointing. So that could be a momentum shift here for Canada. We'll see in the next quarter.
Quarter time here at the Key Centre. France 15, Canada 11. We'll take a break and be back with all the action of the second term.
Hello, Jean. Good of you to let your husband borrow your brand new car. Your insurance covers you, though, right?
I think so.
Ah, Jenny, you got a new employee and a new Narazzo 1300. That machine's insured, isn't it? Date night, eh?
Yeah, and our daughter's having a few friends over.
Yeah, I saw that on social media. I take it your home is insured for that. Don't just think you're covered, know you are with GIO.
See, feel, climb. First out, last in. Look round corners, look in crannies. Go down dark alleys, lose yourself. Catch a lift, break new ground. Turn things inside out. Go walkabout, get set. Go after the goosebumps. Never stop discovering.
Linda, Lindsay, look at you two. Date night?
Our daughter set it up.
Well, that is a thoughtful child.
I know, right? She even booked us dinner in a hotel. She might even have a few friends over.
Yeah, I reckon there's 120 people coming to your house tonight. You are insured, aren't you? Don't just think your home is covered. Know it is, with accidental damage cover with GIO Platinum Home Insurance.
And welcome back to the Key Centre. Second term of this one between Canada and France. John O'Farr and Dave Mengen in commentary. Looking forward to the two bronze medal and gold medal games later on. But what a contest we've got here as Whitehead starts in beautiful fashion for Canada and brings that margin back to 3, Dave. Good start for them.
Yeah, fouled on his way across the line. He was going to get that goal either way. But they needed that start. They needed to score it and get some confidence here because they got to get 4 tries back. That'll be the first.
So Canada now on the defensive pattern as France work it up nicely. Havanay goes straight up the train tracks and gets that back to 4. So 16-12 now in favour of the French. Just 30 seconds old in this second term.
This is a much more balanced line for Canada, 3-2-2-1. Having Morau do the inbound gives them a much bigger opportunity to take that ball deep on the inbound, so you don't have to be as close to the line. It allows you to start your attack on the goal further from that baseline.
So as Caldwell gets the 13th try of the game for Canada, it's 16-13. Nice work to Salegieu. Salegieu has Nankin just in front. Nice protection there from Havanay. Chalmant working nicely. Nankin up the middle. Here comes Salegieu inside the attacking zone. Some open court. They won't catch him from there. He'll soak up some time, and with 24 seconds left on that shot clock, he'll get the try for France. 17-13. They're up by 4 now. Nicely inbounded across to Caldwell. Caldwell has Maroa just in the fringe. Just tries to go over the head of Diganars, and it's intercepted there by France. Salegieu gets the try. Cruel blow for the Canadians, Dave.
And that was a team effort by France. I mean, you look at even Nankin, who didn't end up making any contact just by the fact that he was coming across, made Whitehead have to think about him. And I think he was thinking more about what was going on when he was making that pass than thinking about the pass itself.
Nicely worked to Travis Moreau for a try for Canada. 18-14. Favour of the French as Chalman will try and inbound it. Looking for somebody there. And just decides to go to Salegieu, who gives it back to Havanay. Havanay works it through the key. Out of the try-line area in the defensive pattern. Whitehead with a big fling for the molten ball. Salegieu working. Beautiful pass over the top. Great connectivity from the French.
They're still working together very well. The ball movement between those two guys has been really excellent all week.
So it'll be now started by Canada. Nicely inbound by Caldwell. Gives it quickly to Diganars. Caldwell now under some pressure. Good pass to Whitehead. Whitehead down the flank. Here comes Nankin. Back through the middle. Havanay tries to have it crack, but he can't quite get there. Nicely worked to Caldwell. Caldwell through the thread. Now he goes inside that attacking zone. Beautiful pass to Whitehead. Something pretty coming from Canada. Limited real estate. He gets the try. Wonderful stuff. 20-14 now. 19-15, I should say, in favour of the French over Canada.
Canada works that pick and roll very well, too.
So France now on the attack. Havanay has Nankin just in front of him. Great protector, Nankin. Uses his size well, and he's a great distractor inside that try line. Coming closer, as you can see. Nice little pivot and turn there from Havanay. Illegal use of the hands. I don't think they've given a try, have they, Dave?
Nope. Well, Caldwell's going to the box, but I don't think he needs to go to the... Yeah, he does go to the box. Okay, so it will still be France's ball. And Caldwell will serve his time.
So, looks like there's a fresh 4 on for France. So, they're coming onto the court.
Canada just switched Hirschfield back on for Dagenet.
And it looks as though Salem is on in the jumper number 9. He's just near that try line area, as you can see, next to Whitehead.
He's an old man among kids. I think he's 45 years old, but he's still a vibrant player. Salem.
Verdon goes through for the try. Nice work from Cromp, gives it inbound, gives it across to Whitehead. Whitehead battles there nicely. Maroa protecting beautifully. Got to get out of that defensive line. Now Maroa comes at the line, tries to pop the pass over. Great pass to Caldwell. Wonderful stuff from the Canadians. 20-16, the margin back to 4, just over 5 3/4 to play. Now, if you're in the market for a new wheelchair rugby chair, IWRF tonight will auction off a Vesco competition wheelchair valued at almost $9,000 at the final function after the closing ceremony. Auction proceeds as Salem scores will go to the IWRF Hall of Fame, sponsored by Vesco Metalcraft. We encourage you to get in touch with this website and email auction@iwrf.com to participate. And Dave, as a board member, you stated that you were keen for people to PM you through social media if they were interested in
if you're interested in that chair, you have to be present to bid on the auction, but someone can bid for you. So if you want me to set you up with somebody or you want me to bid for you, you can reach out to me personally.
So terrific contest we've got here between Canada and France as Verdon goes long downtown towards Salem. Salem on the charge. Here comes Maroa. But Raidar Salem will get the try for France, which gives them the margin of 5 with just over 5 to play. Good pass into Caldwell. Maroa, nice inbounder for Canada. Great work from Caldwell through the line. Whitehead tried to get the football, but he couldn't quite get it, and it'll be go for Maroa to score. So 22-18, 5:06 left in this second term. This game going at a frenetic pace, Dave.
Yeah, they're moving along quickly. You know, we were worried about the length of the Colombian game, and they're on fire. Scoring them quickly. Caldwell strips it away.
Nice changeover for Canada. Caldwell will take it, but now needs to do something with it. Gives it to Whitehead. Whitehead looks for an option. Has Hirschfield, but he'll go longer than that and finds Maroa. Travis Maroa from the near side to the far side over the try line. Canada back within 3. Crucial turnover, Dave.
They need to take this turnover and turn it into momentum. We saw with Colombia, they would get turnovers, and
they've done it again.
And this is why you can't leave them in the game for very long. You have to put them away, or they're just going to get right back under your skin.
So they're back within 2. They were down by 4. Now they're back within 2. Wonderful stuff. You can see Canada just having a timeout there. They have 3 left in the game. 1 coach's timeout. France haven't used a regular timeout, but have used 1 coaching timeout. So probably a good place to have a timeout, I'd say here, Dave.
Very good, especially considering they just gave away 2. They need to pull it back together so that they can take control of this game.
So it looks as though the Canadians have stayed with their 4. As Havanay will work it nicely. Sailor Gear just in the key on the near side. Nankin protecting Havanay beautifully with a molten ball. Havanay working nicely. Left and right, tries to go to that far side, but he can't because Maroa prevents that. Nankin blocking out Caldwell. Havanay to the line. Brilliant stuff from Caldwell. He combined nicely with Maroa close to the line there, Dave, and it's stopped that procession from happening. The margin's still 2.
Unfortunately, they had 4 guys in the key there, so one of them is going to end up in the box. That's why it was so hard to get through.
Looks like Cody Caldwell will go to the box, so they're down to 3, as you said.
Yeah, the reason for that rule is because that key gets too small when you have 4 defenders in there.
So Chalman will inbound nicely to Havanay. Havanay will go around Nankin, who's protected Whitehead.
Canada conceding this goal, thinking more about getting into position to take the next inbound.
So the margin to 3, 23-20. As you can see, Hirschfield and Havanay having a battle on court there. Nice inbound pass, great to Whitehead. Whitehead now has some work to do to try and get around Nankin and Havanay. Good pass, great hands there. Canada works it nicely. Hirschfield on the fly, just works around Havanay. Has Maroa coming through. Here comes Whitehead for support. He tries to get his hand in there. Timeout called.
He did a great job of keeping off that half-court line as the defender was pushing him that direction. And then anytime a low pointer, a guy with less function, gets out there with the ball, you're going to see people reaching in there to try and stop him because it's harder for them to get it out of their lap and to the ball handlers.
Nice inbound to Caldwell. Gives it away to Maroa. Maroa just on the fringe, left and right. Tries to find an opportunity. 23-20 in favour of the French. Towards the line. Gets away Havanay. And the try goes to Cody Caldwell and Canada to bring them back in within 2, Dave.
Got his hand on the chair there at the end. I thought maybe that might be a penalty, but it was kind of an incidental thing as he went around the corner.
Havanay working his way nicely. Nice little push from Salegieu on Maroa. Just gives him a little bit more room inside that clutch area.
Again, you see those two guys working together. They're doing a great job of picking for each other and then creating space so that they can move that ball back and forth.
Whitehead under some pressure from Nankin. Gets the pass over the top. Good hands, Cody Caldwell. Draws the player in. Gives it nicely. And I think it's Hirschfield that'll go through for the try. In fact, it was Maroa. So, geez, they must go to the similar barber, I reckon.
Probably.
Very similar haircuts. Gives the ball from Chalman to Havanay. Havanay goes around Caldwell nicely. Tries to get some possession there. Chalman
not letting him go.
Yeah, he's working hard, T-Bone. Tries to get the Molten ball. Got to get it away now. 21 seconds left on the shot clock. Work to do. Great stuff from Havanay. Havanay works it nicely. Goes to the line and scores the try. Brilliant stuff.
He did an excellent job just weaving through there, trying to find the holes as they opened up.
25-22. Works it back from Hirschfield to Maroa. Maroa gives it to Whitehead. Whitehead now under some pressure. Salegieu goes bang. And there goes Maroa. Nice pass across to Caldwell. Oh, that's great connectivity from Canada. Margin to 2 now, Dave.
They're definitely keeping it close. France, though, not giving up that next one.
Equipment timeout called. Looks like it's Whitehead that'll get a tyre change or an axle change. 1 minute, of course, the time limit is for all the coaching teams. But haven't they been some of the unsung heroes across the week, Dave? All the technical crew that work with these 12 teams.
Yeah, the benches, a lot of these teams have 6, 7 people on their crew. And they're always changing tires and checking on people's levels of whatever chemicals in their system, the vitamins, and they have special drinks that each player gets. I mean, this is a serious sport just like any other. They worry about nutrition and keeping people warm and stretched out and making sure all their equipment's ready.
Nice inbound there from the Canadian try, which is the margin now 2. Havanay works up the well nicely. Just tries to go into play. And he'll go over for that try. So 27-24 now, France over Canada. Just over 2 to play in this first half. Absolutely flying. We hope you're enjoying this contest between Canada and France. Stay with us, of course. Next up, USA, Great Britain for bronze. And then the Steelers, the Australian side, going up against Japan for the final. Nice pass across for the Canadians into Whitehead. Whitehead did well with that Molten ball. And he goes over for a try just to bring that margin back to 2, Dave.
Both of these teams want to come home in 5th place. Canada is saving at this point, saving face. They're trying to do the best they can with what they have left. And France, to come in 5th, I think would be a huge win for them. I think that's probably the best they've ever done in a world championship.
Now Havanay working through the line. Nankin working nicely. Here goes Havanay up the flank. Have a look at Cody Caldwell. Big collision there. Comes it again. T-Bone Hirschfield tries to go at Havanay. Havanay spins and turns. Twist. Brilliant stuff from France. They get the try on that occasion. And now the margin goes to 3, 28-25 with just under 2 to play. It's been a really good second term here between Canada and France, Dave.
Yeah, much closer. Canada got those 2 early turnovers that brought them, make it close, and just being close makes the intensity higher for both teams. and makes it more fun for us as fans.
As Caldwell goes through for the 26th try for Canada in this contest. Just over 90 seconds to play. Chalman looking for an option. Gets the Molten ball away, gives it to Salegieu. Salegieu just passes it inbound to Havanay. Havanay works it nicely, has Nankin on the fringe. Whitehead trying his best. Here comes Havanay, draws the man in Caldwell and gives it to Salegieu. And Moreau will try his best to stop Christophe Salegieu, but can't. And the try goes to France, which gets it back to 3. Nice little pass there to Whitehead under some pressure from Havanay and Salegieu. Here comes Canada with their 4. Whitehead draws in Nankin. Bit of a collision at the junction. And Caldwell will just soak up some time. You can see 26 seconds on the clock. Slows down some more time and goes through with about, I think, 23 seconds left on that shot clock. So smart play from Cody Caldwell there. The margin's 2. Canada, they're really fighting here.
Whitehead thought he had a jump there. Had his hand on the ball, and Hivernaut was trying to call for the ref, saying he had contact, but nobody could see it.
Timeout called for France by Hivernaut. 29-27 now inside this.
He wasted a little time yelling for attention to kind of slow down his progression toward the line. He might regret that.
Are you a big communicator out on the court, Dave?
I wish I was more.
Right.
Most of my communications are when I'm not doing well and I'm yelling at somebody else. But, you know, it's really important to let that guy in front of you know what's going on so that he knows to go left or go right or work his way to the middle or stop. Sometimes just stopping helps a lot, because if you get too far away from the guy that you're leading up, somebody can get underneath and you're no longer helping.
So Havanay, your reaction on his face tells the story of that particular play.
4 in the key.
So again, Canada, it's the second time in this contest that they've had 4 in that key. Great job from the Be Live streaming team, giving you all the pictures, both here at the Key Centre and the Netball Centre. They've been here with us right through the 6 days of the tournament. Been doing a fantastic job bringing you all the live pictures.
Been some great video production. I watched some of the games when I've been in my room, and it's really good to see.
All the different low-level cameras.
Yeah, to have multiple cameras is just a novelty in itself, but I feel like things have been done really well. You can really see what's going on. You're getting to see some things from a close angle. You get to see individual players, and then you can see the big picture of what's going on. And for people at home that are watching, wherever you are, it just makes the game that much better.
Tyre change for Canada. I've got a feeling it is Hirschfield that got that tyre change. No, it's Travis Moreau. So inbound to Salegieu, nicely to Havanay. Havanay works it to the line. Caldwell will try his best to get him, but Havanay will soak up some time on the clock.
Havanay's making a case for himself for best in class. He's really had a great tournament. And as their captain, you know, he's showing leadership out there as well.
Inbound to Whitehead. He goes to ground with the ball. Half-time here at the Key Centre. Great game between Canada and France. It's the French that lead it, 30-27. A break on the other side, all the action of the second half.
See, feel, climb. First out, last in. Look round corners, look in crannies. Go down dark alleys, lose yourself. Catch a lift, break new ground. Turn things inside out. Go walkabout, get set. Go after the goosebumps. Never stop discovering.
Linda, Lindsay, look at you two. Date night?
Our daughter set it up.
Well, that is a thoughtful child.
I know, right? She even booked us dinner in a hotel. She might even have a few friends over.
Yeah, I reckon there's 120 people coming to your house tonight. You are insured, aren't you? Don't just think your home is covered. Know it is, with accidental damage cover with GIO Platinum Home Insurance.
It's an absolute honour to have you here in attendance today, those members of the Invictus Games team. I hope you're enjoying the World Championship taking place, and we wish you all the very best in your tournament that's upcoming in the next couple of months' time. Of course, a very big thank you to all our men and women in uniform across the Royal Australian Navy, Army and Air Force. The Australian Defence Force being very big supporters of wheelchair rugby. And an extra special thank you to the members of the Royal Australian Navy for their participation in the ceremonies prior to first tip-off for the games here at the GIO 2018 IWRF Wheelchair Rugby World Championship. Championships, of course, wouldn't be made possible without wonderful supporters, just like GIO, who is the proud major and title sponsor for 2018. Since 1927, GIO has helped generations of customers feel well protected to navigate the uncertainties of life with their range of trusted insurance products. Major sponsors, Citibank, of course, do a wonderful job, a world of progress. And if you haven't been inside a Land Rover lately, you are missing out, because you can leave your comfort zone in comfort with Land Rover. World Championship sponsors the Australian Government, New South Wales Government, and Sydney.com.
And welcome back to the Key Centre here for the second half of this clash between France and Canada. John O'Farr and Dave Mengen in commentary today. Great to have your company for this one as Havanay slides through nicely and give France back that 4-point lead. Nice start from the French, Dave.
Yeah, and that they're building on that last goal that they got in the previous quarter. Helps a lot. There are 8 points you can get first goal, last goal of every quarter. And coaches are constantly harping on that. You want to try and make sure you get that last goal, and you want to try and be in a position to get the first one.
It's amazing, you know, obviously we're battling for medals in the next two games, but there's still plenty of intensity and pride on the line here, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. Neither of these guys wants to come home without this win.
So it goes through for France for the goal there. Havanay was the try scorer. Brings it back to 4 points as Caldwell will inbound nicely to Moreau. Moreau just has Havanay in front. Nice little pivot and spin to Whitehead. Whitehead goes long with the Moulton ball. And it will be Canada for the try.
That's nice. Dagenet, number 12.
Patrice Dagenet, he's done well. Nice little impact player for the Canadians, Dave.
Yeah, and he's another guy who's got a lot of experience. There are a number of players on Canada's team who has big game experience, Paralympics, World Championships.
Salegieu just soaks up some time on the clock. You can see it counting down on the top of your screen, down to 19 seconds now.
France is doing a nice job of handling Canada and managing the clock.
Nicely worked there. Soaks up a bit more time. Still counting down. Can't waste too much there and goes through with 4 seconds remaining. Smart play for France with that 4-goal margin.
The clock is their best friend right now. And 4 goals, it's not an insurmountable hill, but they still have to. Canada has to put something together here. They had those 2 turnovers early on in the second, but if they can't do that again now, the fourth quarter is going to be really tough for them.
Yeah, nice inbound there to Caldwell. Smart play from the Canadians to get themselves back within 3. 6.5 to go before three-quarter time as Havanay works nicely. Nankin, great player for France, but here comes Seylegieu. Christophe Seylegieu just slows himself up, as you can see, close to that line. Bit of a bump and grind there with Patrice Diganaz. And there's Moreau in the key. Bit of a bump and shove with Nankin. He'll slow down the time. 19 seconds left on that shot clock. Gives it away to Havanay now. Havanay will now have a crack at the line. Great protection from Seylegieu. And Jonathan Havanay in the end, just pretty, all too simple really, wasn't it?
They made it look that way. You know, Chalman's been doing a great job here. He was one of the guys holding Whitehead that forced him for the inbound. He's doing a lot of hard work up there at the top of this that doesn't necessarily show up on a camera, but he's making a big difference for his team.
Nice work to Moreau to Whitehead. Whitehead fires it over the top. Brilliant stuff from Caldwell. Bump and spin around Seylegieu. And the try is there for Cody Caldwell and Canada. Brings them back within 3. 34-31. So good passage there from Seylegieu. Seylegieu trying to work nicely. Gives it back to Havanay. Havanay on the fringe. He's got some space just in front. Tries to work there. Nice work from Jonathan Havanay. Nankin protected him nicely. So too Seylegieu. And Havanay will just soak up some time. 22 seconds left on the shot clock. He moves in and he scores the try. So nice battle here. The margin's 4, but it just feels a little bit closer, Dave.
Yeah, the level of intensity is still there. Both teams are fighting hard, although the clock management from France is going to start making that feel a little bit less intense, at least from the French side. Canada's not going to give up. They're going to push hard to try and get those tries back as soon as possible, because they don't want to have to wait till the end to try and make that happen, because then you're doing things that are desperate, and your chances of making it worse are much higher.
Picked up a silver medal in the 2017 national domestic competition here against Japan, who are battling for gold later today. Nankin will work it across court, but the ball comes back.
This is the first time Japan has ever played for a gold medal in a world championship.
It's incredible. Absolutely incredible that it's taken this long. But they're there, and they're half a chance. As Havanay will go through, but I think my Australian bias might play a little bit of a part there. I'll try and keep it low-key, like you with America.
Well, I'm sure, hometown crowd, hometown commentators, people are going to expect a little bit of that, but I'm sure you, just like I am, a big fan of the game. So
100%.
I think as long as it's close, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun.
Oh, such great talent right across the Team Japan. Kurahashi, Ikazaki, Iki, Saya Naramatsu, Hidefumi Wakayama. They've just got talent right across the board. It's going to be a superb clash come 4 o'clock today against the Australian Steelers.
They had a great game against the United States yesterday. They certainly deserve to be in the championship.
Absolutely. I was a little bit surprised considering Australia played Japan on Wednesday night here at the Key Centre and were pretty dominant in the win. And then I thought up until that point that it would be Australia-Japan in the final. But after that game I thought maybe it might be Team USA. But I saw the game on highlights in the in-demand section on the live stream and everything changed. They just seemed to click into another gear, Team Japan over USA last night, yeah?
Yeah, they certainly did. Things were going their way all night, and there were a lot of unforced errors from the United States, but Japan also took advantage of those. And if they can ride the momentum that they've gained from last night into this championship game, they should have a great outing. They got a really good shot at the gold medal. Of course, the Aussies are the favorites. They've got the last World Championship and they got the last Paralympic gold medal.
They're also undefeated in this tournament. Wins against
the only team left undefeated, right?
Yeah. Wins against Sweden, Denmark, Ireland, New Zealand, and Japan. And Great Britain, of course, in the semi-final.
Yes.
So, a undefeated path that they'll, I'm sure, wanting to keep there.
Well, I'm sure the Japanese are watching the game against Great Britain because obviously Great Britain did something right to be that close at the end.
Absolutely. And Team Japan, of course, their only loss of the tournament, I think, was against the Australians on Wednesday night. So, sets us up for a mouth-watering clash. We can hope we can have your company as Jonathan Havanay goes through for France. 37-33 in favour of the French. 3:42 left in this third period as Patrice Diganaz comes back on the court for Canada, so they go back to 4-on-4. John O'Farr and Dave Mengen in commentary today. We hope you're enjoying the coverage and the contests that are going out there over the last 6 days as Whitehead takes it forward. Nice pass. Brilliant stuff, Moreau. Great try, Caldwell. Wonderful stuff from the Canadians.
France trying to slow this down and Canada trying to speed it back up.
Great play across to Havanay from Chalman. Plays it at the line. Just goes through past Caldwell. He goes Havanay. Now Verdon coming into field of vision. Moreau tries to work there, but Sebastien Verdin goes through for France.
That was a very high pass. I was a little worried that somebody was going to get underneath it.
Just great positional play inside that key for France when they have the ball. Nice tap away. Verdon tried to get the Molten ball, but it goes out of bounds. Now, 2018 marks the 25th anniversary of the International Wheelchair Rugby Federation. It was created back in 1993. The sport, of course, was created in 1973. And back in 93, it was the governing body for the sport of wheelchair rugby and has been ever since. The IWRF would love to thank all the athletes, the coaches, the officials, the volunteers, and all the supporters that come out and watch the game, whether it's on the live stream or here at the event. And they've done a wonderful job and they contribute so much, and they look forward to many more years of growing and supporting this wonderful family in wheelchair rugby. As Moreau gives it inbound nicely, Fabien Lavoie tries to work it through the line, gives it beautifully. Moreau, limited space, but he'll get the try there, Dave, and the margin goes back to 4.
That actually is a penalty goal. He got grabbed on his way through, but he'd have scored that one way or the other. Again, you can pretty much make as much contact as you like at that line if the guy's going to score to try and pop that ball out of his lap. That is great play by Caldwell to use Moreau. And Verdun crosses the line out of bounds. Turnover. Canada ball.
So Moreau will inbound. Huge opportunity for Canada. They trail by 3. They're hoping to get it back to 2, which will really put some pressure on France midway through this third term. Goes back to Lavoie. Lavoie tries to get the pass away. Nice works there to Caldwell. Caldwell in there, has Hirschfield in front. Gives the ball to Moreau. Moreau just tries to go to that far side, but Verdon can't stop him. And now he can stop Lavoie. Lavoie works it nicely. Havanay, the opposite 11, comes nicely. Big bump and shove there from Hirschfield on Havanay. Brilliant pass, Fabien Lavoie. Couldn't contain it there. Caldwell intercepted by the French. Verdon has it. Changeover. A cruel mistake there. Turnover possible there. The ball goes in. You can see Havanay reacting to Verdon. Which way is this going to go, Dave?
It looks like it's going to be Canada's ball. It looks like it was a foul on France. Havanay is probably... Well, he won't go to the box because it's a turnover, but he was very upset about that. He was very close to receiving a technical on top of it.
You could see the reaction there on your screens. 2 minutes to go before three-quarter time. The margin, 3 points, 38-35. Caldwell will inbound. Nice pass across court there to Lavoie. Lavoie has Hirschfield, but here comes Salegieu and Havanay. Nice threading the needle pass away to Caldwell, trying to get that margin to 2. Bit of a bump and shove there with Nankin, but it's a try to Cody Caldwell. And we've got a ball game on our hands here, Dave. Under 2 minutes to play before three-quarter time, and that margin is now 2.
And it's unfortunate for Canada that they created 2 turnovers there, but only got 1 point out of it. They weren't able to capitalize the first time, but they were able to fight back and get that ball again.
Saligue gives it to Havanay.
That was a great move.
His opposition, number 11 in Fabien Lavoie, couldn't get it. Is there an equipment call here for Jonathan Havanay?
Yeah.
So 3 timeouts left for France, 2 for Canada, and one for both sides in the coaching timeout. So can you see any of those numbers reducing for either side in the next minute 40?
I think both sides would like not to, right? They need to take those things in the fourth quarter in case they actually need them to get them out of trouble.
So Fabien Lavoie scores for Canada. And now it's 39-37.
One of the opportunities to take a timeout and use it for something valuable is if there is less than 15 seconds on the shot clock and you take that timeout, it puts the clock back to 15. Teams will use that to keep the other team from getting a possession.
Nice work.
And I could see somebody doing that here.
Nice work to Saligue. Just tries to get possession away, but can't quite get it there. Has a couple of options, but he'll go himself. Goes to that near side. Now looking for Havanay and finds him. Havanay will just go towards that far side. Brilliant protection. He distracted the Canadian player on the line in Fabien Lavoie, and Saligue scores for France.
And right where he wanted to. They wanted to leave 55, 58 seconds left so that they guarantee themselves enough time to have a second possession and possibly score the last goal of this period.
So the inbound there for Canada to Hirschfield.
Nice job by Hirschfield. Pushes Chalman into the meter, and he will go into the box.
So France down to 3.
Power play opportunity for Canada.
Huge chance to bring themselves back in with 2 and possibly 1 if they can really shut down this French attack. Canada looking for a couple of options. Wonderful to have the support of GIO, City, Land Rover. Of course, the support from the Australian government and the state New South Wales government, Sydney.com. The Australian Defence Force, a lot of the members are around, volunteering, contributing, helping out. It's wonderful to have their support. The Australian Navy, Rugby AU and Wheelchair Sports New South Wales has called ball. We'll get the ball for Canada. 50 seconds left on the clock inside the final minute of this third term.
And you may see Canada use that one of those timeouts here to make sure that France cannot have the last score of this quarter. And the possession arrow is facing Canada's way as well. So if they can score the last one and then take advantage of the possession arrow in the next quarter, you can get them even closer.
So call ball just to work it.
Yeah, they're going to use that timeout. They're down to 5 seconds on the shot clock. They want to go as far as they can.
And there it is. Oh, they should call you Nostradamus.
Well, they lost the last goal of the last quarter and the first goal of this quarter. They couldn't afford to lose the last goal here because they have the possession arrow, and it's basically a turnover.
So 18 seconds left in this third period. We hope you're enjoying this one between France and Canada. Nice inbound from Hirschfield. Gives it nicely to Lavoie. Lavoie tries to go inside that
too
line.
Quickly.
And he gives it nicely there to Whitehead. Whitehead will hold it up a little bit longer.
5.5 seconds left is plenty of time. They need to slow down Hiverna.
He'll be absolutely flying, as you can see. Goes towards that try line. Canada, brilliant stuff there from Fabien Lavoie to prevent Havanay going. The 11s going bang into each other. That's three-quarter time. The margin 2. France lead it. We'll take a break and back with all the action of the final term.
See, feel, climb. First out, last in. Look round corners, look in crannies. Go down dark alleys, lose yourself. Catch a lift, break new ground. Turn things inside out. Go walkabout, get set. Go after the goosebumps. Never stop discovering.
Linda, Lindsay, look at you two. Date night?
Our daughter set it up.
Well, that is a thoughtful child.
I know, right? She even booked us dinner in a hotel. She might even have a few friends over.
Yeah, I reckon there's 120 people coming to your house tonight. You are insured, aren't you? Don't just think your home is covered. Know it is with accidental damage cover with GIO Platinum Home Insurance.
And welcome back to the Key Centre, the final term. Haven't we got a game here between France?
It's a barn burner. Canada with the opportunity to get within one.
Caldwell moving it nicely, gives the ball across court and gives it to Whitehead. The other voice you hear, Dave Mengen in commentary. John O'Farr is my name. It's wonderful to have your company for this one. And Dave, we spoke off air at that main break. You said that Canada would respond, and they have. They're back within one of France now.
They did a great job of clock management at the end of that quarter. And now France has to use a timeout. They have 3, so they can afford it, but again, a defensive win for Canada.
So the margin 1.
The level of intensity on the Canadian side has not changed, despite the negative things that have happened to them. Some of those mistakes are on them. Some of them are on France. It's just aggressive defense, but they're still pushing hard. They don't want to go home in 6th.
So it's nicely worked there from Havanay through some busy traffic. Caldwell's trying to get it. Canada need the possession change, but it'll go there to Seylegieu, and Christophe Seylegieu just slows up the clock. 10 seconds left on the count. He goes through. Hirschfield almost got the steal close to the line.
The referees are letting these guys play. Caldwell had his hand in there, and it's clearly more than just the ball.
41-39. And a bit of American pride coming through.
I don't know.
Whitehead to work it around Havanay.
I like it when they let us play.
Chalman trying his best to get in there, but here comes Caldwell for Canada. Just tries to get towards the line. Gives the pass across nicely to Moreau. Moreau on that flank through Whitehead. Seylegieu tries to go hard at the line, but the try gets there for Canada.
He did pop Moreau into that post, but not before his casters crossed the line. Those 2 front wheels. You only need to cross with 2.
Seylegieu now on the attack. France now coming through the middle. 41-40. Canada need to force a mistake. Havanay has it. Hirschfield's there. Bit of a bunch up in the middle with Caldwell and Chalman. Now it works to Havanay. Havanay to the line. Try to France. Two points the margin. 42-40. 6:30 left in this game. Wonderful final pool game here. Battling for that 5th and 6th spot, Dave, before we battle for bronze and gold.
Yeah, this has been a great matchup, and I still can't tell you who I think is going to finish on top.
Moreau goes at the line, and he goes through for the try for Canada, 42-41.
And like I was telling you during the break, that I've seen Canada in this position too many times not to think that they have a shot. They really do. It's 1 point, 6.5 minutes. That's all day.
So Seylegieu is just getting some adjustments to his chair, as you can see. The French technician on the court there, doing a great job for them right across the week. Chalman will inbound it. Nice play inbound to Seylegieu. Seylegieu through some traffic, works it hard, tries to go up the line. Havanay's there. Caldwell's working nicely. Here comes Whitehead through the middle, but Seylegieu will work it nicely for France. Nice little bump and shove pass. Whitehead gives it across court. Havanay will go through. The try is there. Bit of a malfunction at the junction late, but it's 43-41. Try margin is 2 now.
And it keeps going back, 1-2, 1-2. It's one with the advantage, sort of like, would it be tennis?
Yeah, it was very similar to the New Zealand-Colombia game. It was this 2-1, 2-1 thing, and then New Zealand just had that late mistake with 11 seconds to go. Colombia struck, got themselves back in it.
One turnover puts you into overtime.
That's exactly right. Well, we had double overtime yesterday.
What a great match. I'm so disappointed that I didn't get to see all of it.
You left early.
It's my own fault.
Oh, what are you doing, Dave? You never leave early.
I couldn't stand the heartbreak that I saw in front of me. That's my fault for not having any faith in those guys.
Oh, you should have seen Grant Sharman in the commentary box. Oh, he was biting fingernails and tapping the desk. Oh, he was right into it. Whitehead works it through the middle for Canada. Havanay's giving himself some grief and just tries to get that ball out of his hands. Nice little pass back. Canada work it nicely through Maroa. Brilliant pass over the top to Caldwell. Canada bring it back within 1.
Again, a nice pick and roll there for Canada. Caldwell makes a little pick and then just goes out top so that he can get the pop pass.
Salegiu works it nicely. Brilliant defence there from Nankin. Here goes Caldwell across the court nicely to Havanay. Moreau just comes in, gives him a bit of a love tap through. And the margin back to 2. So Canada trying to force the mistake when France have got the ball. But Canada work it up nicely, as you can see. Whitehead will just play it at the line outside of that defensive pattern. Limited real estate. Brilliant pass across Moreau. He won't waste time with the Moulton ball. He gives it to Caldwell. And Canada bring it back. 45-44 for 51. Still plenty of time left in this game. Canada, they have to force the mistake, and they have to do it now.
Yeah, the clock's getting short for them. And it seems like they're working a little harder for their tries than France is. And as we get closer to the end of this game, this is the line that's been working. These guys are going to start getting tired.
Havanay works it to the line. Canada, they've had 2 turnovers in that last period, the third one. And that got them to where they are now. They need another one here, but France charging. And Havanay goes through for the try. So the margin goes back to 2. Wonderful support for both sides, really, the French and the Canadians, not just today, but right across the week, Dave.
Absolutely. And I don't know who's got the tire coming out. You can see Lavoie sitting there on the sidelines. Looks like they're trying to get some fresh arms in here to get some speed and have an advantage to get that turnover. He has really long arms. He's very likely to pop a ball out of somebody's lap and maybe create a turnover, and I think that's what they're thinking about.
So Whitehead gets the tyre change. And as you said, there's a player in the box, so France down to 3.
Oh, no, it's in the sub box.
The sub box, okay, so looking for possible a change here. As
Whitehead struggling, but he's going to get across.
Yeah, he'll get through. Caldwell just on the flank. And Hirschfield working nicely. Goes through there for the try. Brilliant stuff from Canada.
Good seal at the baseline.
Brings it back to 1.
One of the early things they teach you in that situation is you need to divide the key, and you need to make sure that somebody can't go underneath you to get to the ball handler.
So Salegiu works it, pops a pass to Havanay. Havanay around Hirschfield. Jonathan Havanay for France. He'll go through. Just gets them out to that 2-try margin inside 4 to play. Real battle here between these 2 top sides battling for 5th and 6th position here, Dave.
Amazing how much nervous intensity just comes off on us, as we call the game, by the closeness of this game. And it's so much weight.
Whitehead.
The winner of this game is 5th in the world. They'll get that ranking, not just the tournament.
So Moreau works it nicely. Has Hirschfield in front. Caldwell just on the flank. Here comes Whitehead in support. He goes bang into Chalman.
All the French players on one side of the key.
Moreau.
That's what Canada's looking for.
Good pass across, but France look like they've got the result there. Was it 4 in the key?
No, Canada called timeout. They had 5 seconds left, and they didn't feel like they had anything they could work. That's their last one.
Interesting. 3:20. France have 2 left and 1 coach's timeout. Canada just have the 1 coach's timeout. So, big call here, but you would think that Canada will probably use that, I'd reckon, in the next minute and a half, the coaching timeout.
They would have liked to have had that floor timeout available to them if the game is close at the end to try and force an overtime or force a situation where they got the last goal. And not having that, they're going to have to do some more work.
Canada working nicely. Moreau, brilliant pass under pressure. Trevor Hirschfield, T-bone, does it again for Canada.
Canada drawing the entire French defense to one side, and Hirschfield all by himself.
Havanay works it nicely past Hirschfield. Havanay working it through the line. Through some traffic. Chalman doing well. Threads the pass. Gives it nicely to Salegieu. Nankin just protects his man. And Christophe Salegieu gets a little bit of a bump tap there from Caldwell and Hirschfield. And he still goes through for the try. So inside 3 minutes before full time. 48-46, margin to 2. Canada trying to get it back to 1. Moreau. Thought he might have called a timeout, but he was just trying to get the ball away to Lavoie, and he's done that. Now to Caldwell. Look at Caldwell charge. Here comes Salegieu. Tries to get him, but Caldwell will win that battle, and they bring it back within 1. 48-47. Big finish here coming, Dave.
This is crazy. I love it. You know, we were looking for a good game. We expected a good game, and it's a good game. 1 try. And if Canada gets a turnover, we have a chance at overtime.
No, don't say that.
I know we were trying to gain some time back because we lost some time in the last game, but I would love to see an overtime game. Forget about production time and all that stuff and screwing up the schedule.
Grant Sharman mentioned that dirty word, and we went to double overtime. Nicely worked from Havanay. 48-47, France by 1. Canada needs something big here. Nice work from Hirschfield to block him at the line. Does well. Oh, Havanay gets through somehow.
Only 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Canada almost able to create a turnover there, but France just relentless.
Take us through this replay here,
You'll
Dave.
see here both T-Bone and Cody Caldwell pushing hard to try and push Hivernay into that post.
So France will use one of their timeouts. They're down to 2. In fact, it was a coach's timeout. So the coach's timeout used, so they have none left. They have 2 timeouts left, regular timeouts. Canada just have the 1 coaching timeout. 49-47 in favour of France. But Canada have the ball. They're going to try and get it into within 1.
Somewhat in the game like this, you get lost in being a fan and just watching.
Good inbound
2 on 1.
Chance here for Canada. Good pass across. Brilliant hands. Lavoie. Fabien Lavoie scores for Canada. Brings it to 1. 49-48. This is where they need something big here. Inside 2 minutes. Salegieu tries to work at some pressure. Look at the intensity lift. Nice pass to Havanay. Havanay works it through the defensive pattern. Moreau got stuck a little bit. So too Hirschfield. And Havanay just works it nicely. Slows down the clock. 23 seconds left as he crosses the line.
You're going to see a lot more swatting at the ball from the Canadians. They need to create a turnover.
Nice inbound to Caldwell, to Lavoie. Lavoie works it around a couple of his men. Now tries to look for something, Fabien Lavoie. Lavoie, nice pass, bullet-like to Caldwell. Caldwell over the top. Brilliant stuff, Moreau. Travis Moreau scores for Canada. They're back within 1 here, Dave. Just under 90 seconds to play.
Canada working hard, but if they don't get that turnover, it's not going to make any difference. They need to get in there and they need to stop the French inbound.
Goes to Salegieu. Salegieu just great protection of the ball there. Smart play, didn't panic. And it brings it out to that 2-try margin.
France doing a really good job of getting that ball across half court and having the opportunity to slow things down. We're just down to a minute here.
Caldwell plays the line, left and right, tries to find some players there and finds Moreau. Moreau There's a couple of options on the left flank, but he'll decide to go to the right to Lavoie. Lavoie working it nicely. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Lavoie needs to do something here. Hirschfeld might have jammed him there, but he comes back. Moreau protecting nicely. So too Caldwell. Great pass. Brilliant stuff, Canada. Hirschfeld. Great try. Back within one. 51-50. They need something big. 38 seconds left. Havanay plays it at the line. Tries to go hard. Gets the pass almost away. He still goes himself. Brilliant pressure here from Canada. Salegiu gets bumped out by Moreau. Moreau will have a crack. Just tries to go on the line. Gets a bit of a bump from Caldwell. And Havanay goes through. They might hang on here, France. They lead by 2.
Yeah, with only 25 seconds, Canada not only needs to score, but they need to somehow get the ball back. And France has just been too consistent. I can't see that happening.
14 seconds left.
And a foul.
Who gets the ball here, Dave? Canada?
Yeah, Canada retains possession.
So Caldwell, you can see on the sideline there, he'll come back in field.
So Canada's best opportunity here is that if they can cause the goal that's scored to be a penalty goal, then this guy stays in the box, Salegiu.
Yep.
And it'll be 4-on-3. They have a much better chance of stopping the inbound, but they have to score in 13 seconds, get the ball back in 13 seconds, and then somehow get another goal. Their work's cut out for them, but I'm not ready to count them out yet.
So you can see the Canadian coaching staff just barking some orders there, telling his team and his men and his troops to get in this one. They're down by 2. 13 seconds left. Seems like a very short time, but a lot can happen in this game in 13 seconds, let me tell you. Caldwell, inbound from the sideline. Goes to Moreau. Moreau plays it. Tries to go left and right. Needs something big here inside the last 10 seconds. There's the try. Now they need a miracle. They need to turn it over. 7.7 seconds left in this one. 52-51. France lead it by 1. Salegiu will inbound. They need a miracle, Canada. Goes across to Nankin. Nankin gives it to Salegiu. Look at Canada come in. Salegiu will cover the ball. He'll try to keep it alive. Caldwell tries to get his hand in there. Siren sounds. The face and the celebration from Christophe Salegiu, and Jonathan Havanay says it all. Look at that. Oh, that's brilliant. That's what it means to them. They win it by 1. What a finish. What a game.
France did a great job closing out this game, keeping Canada from getting back at matching them up and try for try. They certainly earned that win.
Wonderful stuff. Trio coming onto the court there. Terrific game we've seen here, Dave Mengen. Pleasure to call with you, sir.
You too. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It was a fun game. It was a great contest as a fan and also as a commentator. And now we got another exciting one coming up, right?
Oh, haven't we? What? USA, Great Britain for bronze. And then Australia v Japan. We're at the pointy end of the pencil. It's going to get exciting from here. Hope you've enjoyed this one between Canada and France. My name's John O'Farr. On behalf of Dave Mengen, thanks for your company. Stay with us. We've got USA, Great Britain up next. They both are battling for bronze.
Thanks, guys.